Hello and welcome to day 2 of the 30-day challenge I'm on of posting a video every day for 30 days. And as you know, or perhaps if you did see part 1, I decided my video would be that I would read to you from my latest release, Gold Plated. And so if you didn't see part 1, it's on my YouTube channel, which I'll put a link below in the comments. And if you go there, I'll be posting each part on my YouTube channel and you can follow it through. So let's get started on part 2 of Gold Plated. Preparations for a party. When a third stranger smiles at me, the realisation dawns. Not only am I humming an adapted version of Leslie Gore's 1963 hit, It's My Party, as I meander among the flower beds, but also I sport a silly grin, and the blush of embarrassment that follows the realisation. But I can't help myself. There's a party in the offing, and for a change, the butterflies fluttering about my chest have gossamer wings rather than tackety boots. I'm not often a party person, being more comfortable as a wallflower than a poppy, but it's Paul's party and I'll smile if I want to, smile if I want to, smile if I want to. You would smile too if it happened to you. Looking round to make sure I'm unobserved, I do a wee discreet wiggle or two to the music that's playing in my head. I mean, really, who wouldn't want to dance to Leslie Gore? I may not be a party person, but adrenaline is running through my veins right now. For me, this is the best part of a party, the planning stage. All the little details, what the theme should be, the music, the food, who we should invite, where we would have it, what I'll make myself to wear and how I'll do my hair. This is the fun part. And everyone knows what Cyndi Lauper sang in 1983, Girls Just Wanna Have Fun. Ho ho! Not so Heather. She just wants to get it done. All my tinkering about on the details is bound to be driving her crazy. But sweet child of mine that she is, she's bitten her tongue and summoned patience from some source deep in her soul. She has tolerated me feeling moved to sing her a bar or two of each song on the playlist, as I remember it. She even did it with a smile. My own smile widens as I see her car pull up outside. Heather and I meet on her afternoon off work every Wednesday. We favour the local garden centre because they do a lovely lunch menu. The specials change every week, so it's always good if I arrive earlier than Heather and get a look at the menu in advance. Otherwise, I try her patience with the time I take to choose. The wee restaurant is tucked neatly between the bedding plants and the garden ornaments, and we have a favourite table over in the far corner where there are windows on two sides looking onto colourful trays of flowers. This past few weeks we've used our cosy corner as our hub from which to plan Paul's golden wedding anniversary party. I call it Paul's party because he's the sociable one, the one who decided we must have a large gathering of everyone who's ever known us, or passed us in the street, it seems. I doubt if I've met 90% of the guests, but they'll all have known Paul for years. We've already booked the venue, the function suite at Paul's Golf Club, chosen the menu, a sit-down meal rather than a buffet, and printed the invitations. Mr. and Mrs. Paul and Rosanna Melville would like to invite you, etc., etc., etc. In short, this is to be the reception Paul and I didn't have when we sneaked off to our registry office wedding 50 years ago. My plan had been to celebrate in our usual fashion with a quiet dinner for two in a posh restaurant, but having been persuaded we need to have a party, I've donned my party planning hat and entered into the spirit of the thing without reservation. No one likes a sourdough at a party, and I would not for all the world want to spoil the fun for Paul. As my friend Deirdre once remarked, there's a real fun side to you tucked away behind that serene exterior, isn't there? And there is, and this party planning is bringing it out, because I know how much pleasure the whole thing is going to bring Paul, bless him. To my surprise, Heather asked me last week if she could invite a +1. Of course you can, dear. I wasn't aware you were seeing anyone. I'm not seeing him as such, but we could have had coffee together and a few lunches, colour crept into her cheeks, and a dinner or two. There's a proverb that says something about patience being rewarded, so I exercised it and gave her time to divulge the rest. Okay, she said, perhaps there's been more than that. Her blush deepened. I like him, Mum, and I thought this might be a good opportunity for him to meet you and Dad. It's also let me see how he reacts in a big family occasion when he won't know anyone. Oh dear, is that a good idea? Is that not throwing him in at the deep end, as they say? Well, yes, but that's kind of the point. I'll be able to tell if he's a social creature or not, things like that. Seems a bit hard on the poor man. Och, Mum, he's a big boy now, he'll be fine. Is it someone from work? Yes, with Becky going off on maternity leave, I've been doing work for the other partners, including Connor. I'd often seen him in passing and nodded, said good morning and things like that, and his smile was always warm, always made me feel good. He's a handsome man, and I assumed he'd be in a relationship, so unavailable. Since I've been working for him, I discovered he's not, and we have a lot in common. We're both in our early 50s, both divorced, both enjoy similar things. Like? We have much the same taste in music. We both enjoy wandering around art galleries, going to the theatre, the botanic gardens, hill walking. It did my heart good to see the joy with which she listed these things. Sound like you've found yourself a real-life Anne of Green Gables style kindred spirit. Well, I don't know as I'd put it like that, she laughed, but it's looking good. There's so much we share. It's amazing. We choose the same kind of food, and you know how particular I am about that. My turn to laugh and to acknowledge the truth of the statement. It's not that she's a fussy eater, but even as a little girl, Heather knew with real certainty what she would and wouldn't eat. And she wouldn't eat red meat or potatoes. No matter how I prepared them, they were rejected. They're still off her list of acceptable foods, along with various other things. And you know how I love a man with a sense of humour. Well, I'll be happy if he's able to make you smile more than Nigel ever did. Oh, he does, Mum, he really does. Her eyes sparkled with flecks of gold in their tawny depths, lit by more than a passing flirtation, it would seem. We're getting on rather well, actually. I'm so pleased for you, darling. I'm amazed you managed not to say a word or even drop a hint about him these past few weeks. Well, I didn't want to, in case it came to nothing. Perhaps she saw the look of hope I'm sure shone in my face, because she put her hand up straight away and added, and it still might. But I thought it would be an opportunity for you and Dad to meet him. That was last week, and I'm wondering as I watch her walk into the garden centre what surprises Heather might have in store for me today, when we organise the seating arrangements for the meal. I'm hoping she's got some idea of where to start, because I haven't a clue who to put with who talks too much and who needs drawing out. I want everyone to be comfortable and happy, but dashed if I know how to go about ensuring it. Hi, Mum. You okay? Sorry I'm late. Got held up at work. Hi, love. I kissed the proffered cheek. That's okay. I put the time to good use. I show her the card I bought for Paul while I was waiting, knowing she won't like it because it's flowery. And what is it they say these days? Do they still say cheesy, or is it just me? Caught in a time warp again. Something more humorous would be her taste, but they all seemed a bit too bawdy or snide for me. Really, Mum? You're going with the hearts and flowers? You do know Dad doesn't have a romantic bone in his body. Whether in embarrassment or pique, I'm not sure, but my face burns. You can do better than that. Her face crumples in distaste for the offending card I hold in my hand. Why don't you make him one? Do a painting of where you went on your honeymoon or something. Oh, that's a nice idea. But too late. I've bought this one now. Here, give me the receipt and the card, and I'll take it back for you. But won't they mind? Mum, you haven't even left the shop yet. And they know you. You're a good customer. She takes the card from me and waits till I look out at the receipt. I'll tell them you've changed your mind. Like I say, they know you. She laughs, not unkindly, but in a long-suffering sort of way. My flush intensifies with Heather's inference that the staff here are used to my indecision, which I can't deny is the case. Was I always this dithery? Can I blame old age? Not that 70 is considered old these days. It just feels it. While she's away to return the card, I fiddle with the table settings, straightening the cutlery, tidying the salt, pepper and sauces into a neat cluster, moving the menu on its stand and the little vase of flowers so they're not in my line of vision when I look across to where Heather will sit. What a good idea to make a card. Why had I not thought of it? Our honeymoon was short and sweet. A weekend in the cottage outside North Berwick. We had a great view of Bass Rock from the upstairs bedroom window, and Paul praised the rough sketch I did of the sea crashing against it. I wonder if it will be familiar to him if I dig it out and make it into a card. He'll surely enjoy being reminded of that precious weekend. 2 days filled with whispered secrets and salty kisses, windswept walks and tender nights. Heather is right again. She so often is. To make a card with the sketch would be more personal and more meaningful, just as it should be. I've always hated the duty-type gift-giving and would rather have a flower given in love than any expensive, flashy, meaningless bauble given because it was the right thing to do. Well, that's part 2. Tune in tomorrow and I'll read part 3. Bye.